I know whatever. So once I go in the microphone, now touch in the MIDI, slowly, then I'll be clear. There, stop there. So, I'm here again. When I look at all of you, I look at the CEOs. I'm so humbled to be here. Our President Minister for science, technology, or for energy. You know, we call her by science. Otherwise, honorable ministers present, the chairman, board members, and chief executive officer of the Presidential CEO Forum, chief executives, and captains of industries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me once again to say good morning. My name is Simple Amakiki Asimwe Jonad, and I'm an engineer in the energy sector. So I'm a follower of our minister who is here. I'm also a CEO in Jonad Group of companies, which comprise of 9 companies. So I know what you are going through because I have also passed in the same path and I'm going through the same. So when my colleague here is talking, one day when the PSF was being made or was being established, I was in one of those meetings. We are looking how the private sector can join the national development programs, and also how can be included or participate actively to develop our own country. I'm so happy the vision came to pass, and the private sector foundation, you are doing a good work. And also, when I look at the Presidential Forum, CEO Forum, so you are continuing to build the same journey so that we see everybody is included. It is also my pleasure to join you at this 7th biannual conference. Your theme, moving from the policy advocacy to industrial transformation. I think that is an instruction to all of us, and has been always said. It asks government to move from announcing intentions to removing constraints, industry to move from trading what others have made to producing what the world will buy. And our innovation will move from the laboratory into the production environment and the market. That's why when I meet my colleagues, I have seen my professor here, Florence. I've visited her initiative, Banana. We are talking about factoring market problem, market solution, on how best we can do. So we have many examples here, and dear colleagues, I think that advocacy now should continue to go to industrial transformation. I want to begin with the fact we all must know. Uganda will not become a $500 billion US economy by producing 10 times more of the same things in the same way. The tenfold growth requires a more complex economy, one that converts knowledge into products, raw materials into sophisticated exports, and Ugandan companies into globally competitive enterprises. I think that's what now we should do, most of us focus on. And I would wish you, the CEOs who are running the practical world, to continue showing other people that there should be a proper methodology on how we reach the $500 billion US. I've always told my fellow Ugandans, even including us here, most of you, when you work with those kind of the introduction, and you should continue promoting the local production to be bought by our fellow Ugandans here. And if I look at the second issue, we need to increase the complicity of our traditional sectors. I know we have coffee, which must move beyond the bean into soluble coffee, extracts, cosmetics, and nutraceuticals, and global brands. Alloys, components, and finished products. We are happy that the minister who went to energy is a scientist. And while she was there, she was also in the bureau, which is infrastructure, where we look at how we can add value into the minerals. In 2013, His Excellency put a ban, or instructed a ban, on all ores. Many people quarreled. They felt bad. Either they saw Africans who don't love their country. Why would you export something not finished and you lose 3/4 of the value? Me, myself, I would never promote that. So now today, it is the time we need to move the talk, we move the word. I'm so happy that we are having steel companies coming on. Because if I could give a little example, that imagine if we had iron and steel here, being produced here. The old central processing facility, the biggest BOQ, which has gone into the ECOP, central facilities, both Changwali and Tilenga, it is iron and steel. All money has gone back to China, has gone back to those countries. Meaning our money has gone. But if we are producing these things from here, even our oil and gas would have benefited us from day one. So that's why we are saying the advocacy, let it be now practical to solutions which are going to take us ahead. And now STI is just going to fire up the other engines of the ATMs. The ATMs, we all know, we have the agro-industrialization. This one becomes more productive through improved varieties. There is a lot of biotechnology going on, and also improving the irrigation, mechanization, and food engineering. Please come to us, let us team up, and we see how we can improve the production in our culture. I'm happy that I'm sitting now and I'm standing in one of the ATMs. This is Entebbe Zoo, where we're having tourism. Tourism is part of it. And then if tourism becomes more valuable through data, digital discovery, immersive media, and transport innovation, we expect more revenues. So we are moving from advocacy to practical world. And I think most of you know when you talk too much of the theory, you lose a lot. The mineral development becomes industrial when geology is linked to modern exploration, processing, material science, and fabrication. And STI is therefore the electricity running through all the 4 ATMs sectors. Our colleague minister, who is present, we request you touch the issue of exploration very, very seriously. Because in some other countries, like Tanzania, they had a very big problem on investing into the minerals. But the president took over the charge, that was Magufuli, the late. They decided to do intensive exploration across the country. They quantified and qualified the inorganic and organic, so that investors can come easily to invest and improve value. So with STI and energy, when we come up with better methods, I'm sure our forum here will give a better report also in the next retreats. When I look at the Presidential CEO Forum, it already understands this mission. I have already shared with the chair. In the few words who are speaking with me, I really know this lady understands the president. Don't forget that I'm the National Vice Chairman, Western Uganda. I have been mentored by His Excellency on his vision, what he wants the country to be. I'm here in two ways. I'm here looking at the manifesto where the Mwananchis should benefit from, and also looking at how you industrialists should take on your agenda. In our manifesto, we want to see the last person on the ground, my grandmother, can be able to get drugs at cheaper costs. I want to see my grandmother who doesn't know that this beach source of immobility solutions for Africa. And your July 2026 engagement went further. It identified policy, charging infrastructure, skills, research, investment, and local manufacturing as parts of one ecosystem. That is exactly what serious industrial policy looks like. It does not pick a product and hope. It assembles a market, finance, infrastructure, standards, talent, and technology around a strategic value chain. So from this retreat, my scientists, I think, took it up seriously, and also allow me to thank my former minister in STI that we did not stop here. We continue with the vision. And on 28th tomorrow, we are launching 22 buses on those roads of Namugongo, Sonde, everywhere there. We want to see that you move smartly. You should be smiling in your bus. We want to remove that congestion in the town, and we make science to solve your problems. Tomorrow we shall be launching more buses, and more are coming. It is because you encouraged our people when you were there and you followed it up. Our Presidential CEO Forum, thank you for those inputs, and we are very proud of you. We must now apply that discipline to other frontiers as the way you did it the other side, because there are new industries which require new rules. In e-mobility, we need coherent standards for vehicles, chargers, batteries, and battery recycling, fiscal measures that reward local value addition, reliable charging infrastructure, patient finance, and predictable public procurement. When I look at artificial intelligence, where people are much worried about, that is another topic for another day. We need to get some trusted data governance, compute infrastructure, skills, cybersecurity, and clear rules for responsible deployment. I think that one, our Presidential CEO Forum, you take it notably, because now AI is taking over the globe. Some countries are moving faster. I was looking at some of the articles from the scientists about AI. Others are positive, others are in the middle, others are in negative. But now, like us here, we need to see how can we move from that advocacy to have our sovereignty artificial intelligence here, guided by our own HEPC or our own computations. So there now, I request our Minister of Energy to work 24/7 to avail us enough power, because our data will be requiring a lot of electricity and stable one. I want to go on few conclusions. I'm not going to speak much because I have the number of people here to speak. But what I would say that if you look at these policies, they must arrive before the bottleneck becomes a crisis. And that's what I'm experiencing also in my ministry. We need to move faster, but the policies have moved slowly. I remember when we were starting energy, the energy was far, the policies were not there. So we had to concentrate on the policies first, and then we kicked off. So through our chair of the Presidential CEO Forum, you should always look at also that we need to act, but the policies do not allow us. Standards must be designed while the product is being developed. And also the procurement must evaluate lifetime value and national capability. Intellectual property rules must reward the inventor, protect public investment, and make commercialization attractive. A country cannot call for innovation with one hand and obstruct it with 5. That is going to be very, very bad. So there I expect to tighten the handshake between the laboratory and the factory. And when we look at our government, is going to continue to fund research and innovation. And the funding must increasingly be mission-oriented and stage-gated. We are not going to fund things where you are, as if you are looking to graduate and get your degrees. If you are called an innovator, you need to be having a mind of R&D, but also a mind of commercialization. I know the biggest percentage of scientists don't know how to move from laboratory to commercialization, but our ministry is going to work with you and also work with a number of private sectors to bring that science to business. So through our forum, I call you to engage our scientists. Many of them, they have good products, but they don't know how to make money from them. Irene, I think you have noted that point. It's very important. I see people here with a lot of money. I know you, some of you. And now it is right time you come and engage with our scientists. Come and take those. You get your IPs. Try to see how you can benefit 50-50 or 70-20 like that. The way we do in other sectors, how we combine with the internationals. And to our CEOs in this room, I offer direct challenge. Treat R&D as an investment in productivity and market leadership. Publish the technical problems that cost your firms money. Co-fund laboratories and industrial chairs. Open production lines to researchers and interns. Build Ugandan supplier development programs. Place advance orders where a local product can meet quality, price, and delivery requirements. The most consequential vote of confidence in Ugandan innovation is a purchase order. So the government must earn your confidence through consistency. We must shorten the journey from prototype to bankable enterprise and coordinate our institutions so innovators do not spend their best years walking from office to office. We must use procurement strategically, expand patient capital, enforce quality, support certification, and open regional and continental markets. So that is yours and me, who are CEOs in some of the issues. To me, I started funding my laboratory 6 years ago. I do a lot of research into my companies, and I pay even researchers to improve my products, improve my oil ventures. So it is very healthy us also to be involved in research and design. Let us not look at only government coming in. If government doesn't come in, you lose, because you know the market problem. Actually, you know the market solution and problem more than any other person. Like our executive director here of East African Roofings, he already knows his problems in the sector. So he's the best person to design and do research on that product. But our people who have never done any business, they are doing it because they are scholars. But you are the best at it. So let us join hands to see that we take R&D ahead. In my last words, ladies and gentlemen, industrial transformation is ultimately a choice about where value will be created. And I urge you, PCF, to continue prioritizing this frontier. Let the PCF focus on and organize our national priority industrial constraints. Let our universities and research institutions organize knowledge around them. And let government align policy, infrastructure, finance, standards, and procurement. Let the private sector invest, manufacture, and take Ugandan products to scale. And let us measure ourselves by the number of concentrates removed, patents commercialized, production lines commissioned, supplier farms created, and Ugandan products winning markets. If we do this, the tenfold economy will have a face. I repeat this. If we do this, the tenfold economy will have a face. A Ugandan company solving a Ugandan problem. A Ugandan company solving a Ugandan problem. Or signing an export contract, and it will have a simple inscription on products of rising complexity and unquestionable quality, designed in Uganda, made in Uganda, trusted by the world. Allow me to thank you once again. I'll be moving off shortly to go and meet your children in Impigi who are debating about innovations. I want to give them much time. You know me, I look at younger generation so much. Whether if you have a kid and doesn't have a mentor, just book me. I'll mentor your child. I mind on younger generation because for us we have already enjoyed our lives. But the younger one who are going to sit where we are, they are the most important people right now. So I designed my timetable. Every month, 3 days are given to the younger generation. So I'm going to talk to them on how they can develop and be patriotic and love their country and also be innovative. For God and my country, thank you so much for lending me your ears.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. As we digest the nuggets of wisdom you've shared with us, we are going to have another speech, but before that, I want to share some communication about a group photo that we shall take as soon as the next speech is completed. The first photo will have the Honorable Minister of MEMD and STI, the Chairman of CFRA, Mr. Deo Kayemba, and all board members present. The second photo, we shall have all MDAs present, and this includes CMA, URSB, EFSZA, PAL Bank, ERA, NDA, UMBS, Presidential Initiative on Bananas, State House members present, UNOC and UWA. That will be group photo number 2. Group photo number 3, all private sector members will come forward. And then the final group photo will be for the technical members. So before I invite a great scientist and one of the people who have driven the policy in this country, I want us to reflect on the wisdom we have gotten from our Minister of STI. He has raised some very, very critical pointers that, if implemented, can give us a platform to transform our economy. One of the most critical ones is commercialization of the innovations by scientists. And that is absolutely critical. So the financiers here, we should be funding these scientists that come up with initiatives, but then supporting them to go to market. Because like he has rightly said, the proof of success is the order, the product being on the shelf, being picked off the shelf. And we have got some exciting companies like the story from Movit earlier. We have companies like Endiro. Some of you know about a company called Endiro. They're in America, a big supermarket called Trader Joe's. You go there, you find Ugandan coffee by entrepreneurs in Kampala here. There's a gentleman in PG called Mieka. He takes bananas and sells them in supermarkets in UK and US. Those are people taking our country forward. So innovation, commercialization is going to be very important. And I think with the CFORA and the government working together, we shall be able to provide technical assistance and support in terms of go-to-market. The second very important one that you mentioned, I think, which we should be cognizant of, is IP, intellectual property and patents, because that's what safeguards the hard work that people like our minister put in. Because there are people who sit on the periphery waiting to counterfeit. Many of us have suffered from imports from the Far East for a long time. Ugandan companies are working hard, coming up with innovations. Somebody brings a counterfeit, goes to the market and finishes you. So it's important the government has very strong IP and patent protection policies because that's how economies grow. That's how Japan emerged out of the World War and became a global giant. That's how Silicon Valley became big, patents. So the people in this room, the lady who wants to become the biggest steel manufacturer, and that's a powerful vision, can only be protected if our patents are secured, especially in this world which is now flat. So, Honorable Minister, as expected, thanks for your wisdom. I believe we have benefited from it. At this point, I want to invite a leading scientist, visionary and policymaker, and someone who has been at the heart of the transformation of many sectors, Honorable Dr. Monica Musenero.
Thank you very much, MC, for the compliments. And Honorable Jonad Asimwe, Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Your Worship the Mayor, if you are the Mayor of Entebbe, don't know if he's already here, the Chairman of the Presidential CEO Forum, the Chief Executive Officer of PCF Secretariat, the Chairperson of Farm Committee, heads of government agencies who are here, the captains of our industries, our Chief Executive Officers, development partners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is the first time I address you as Minister for Energy and Mineral Development. But some of you, including the minister, still have the hang up that I'm Minister for Science. I'm Minister for Energy and Mineral Development. And I'm so privileged to this time stand here as Minister for Mineral Development, because I can make some very concrete promises and responses to your requests, because I stand in a place where I can make it happen. So I was requested specifically to set the scene, especially in terms of industrialization. And in this, we are asking a question: how can minerals and energy, availability of energy and minerals, impact on the industrialization and the tenfold growth? First, allow me use the word qualitative leap instead of tenfold growth, because the qualitative leap illustrates best how we can achieve the tenfold growth. So let me begin by saying I want to change the question which I have been asked: what availability can do? But I don't think the question is availability, because, ladies and gentlemen, minerals have been available in this country. I'm not so sure whether we have been creating any new minerals in the past few years. They are available. And energy has also been available for a while. But these were commodities we looked at to sell and not to build. And that's the difference. If we are simply looking at what we are going to simply sell as is, we are not going to achieve the tenfold growth. So our focus is what can energy and minerals enable us to build, which is going to take us to that destination. Many people, when they look at the statement, tenfold growth in just about 14 years, they don't believe it. I am one of the believers because I think I know the formula. So distinguished CEOs, Uganda has not suffered much. Yes, electricity has been, because it's not available, but the potential has always been there. Did we create Owen Falls Dam? Owen Falls? No. The Owen Falls has been there. Did we create Karuma? The falls there where we built the dam? No. The difference was, can we take the natural resource and build industries around it? And that is what my thesis is going to be about. Because for 60 years, as an independent nation, we have asked the availability question, and we have answered it rather well. Where are the resources? Where are the minerals? Where are the dams? Where is the sunshine? We have seen them available. And we know quite well now our reserves. And my predecessors at the ministry, which I lead now, did a very, very good job. In fact, they have even showed us oil, not in the ground, but on the surface now. In a few weeks, I'll be telling you when we are going to see the oil. I'll not say it now, but in a few weeks, I'll be telling you when we are going to see the oil. We have mapped most of what we have. We know the tariffs. I've seen a lot of arguments about the tariffs in the resolutions. I was glad to see that you are quite happy, not completely, but you are quite happy with the tariffs. We have issued licenses. I'm sure the number of people here in sectors where we are issuing in minerals, you have exploration licenses, mining licenses, you have licenses related to oil. And yet, when we look around this room, the industries that those resources were supposed to have created are still largely in potential. I've been attending CEO Forum conferences for, I think this is my third or fourth one. And we still have a lot of talking about what potential should be. So my question, which I'm posing today, and I'm putting it to you as the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, is there energy? Do you have energy? CEOs, do you have energy? Do you have electricity? You don't. Are there minerals? The energy is there, by the way. We even have a little bit of surplus. But the challenge is what I have put as my strategic priority as leader of this sector. And I hope that in the next 20 minutes, as I summarize what I have to say, you'll believe me. So the important question is, what are we going to make with these resources? What are we going to make with the energy? What are we going to make with the minerals? What are we going to make with the primary products of our natural resources, like Professor growing bananas? What are we going to make with it? As I govern the sector, I have introduced 3 questions which I wanted to share today for the first time in public with the CEOs. The 3 questions that govern every decision we make, every implementation of policy or change of policy are: 1, where is the money? Where is the money? No more blind investment, no more guesswork. We want to locate where is the money. Because I can tell you, the tenfold growth is about money. Ugandans want money. I also want money. Sometimes we behave in the country as if we don't want money. Let others have, let them take. And we do that by simply not bringing to vision, to visualization, to calculation, to total knowledge-based analysis, so that before I issue a license, I know where the money is going, who is taking it, which nation is benefiting from it, which investor is having it. And so, especially at the beginning, you're going to experience a little bit of delays as we streamline the systems to calculate where is the money. Because in all these resources, we are looking for money. And the next question is one you're interested in very much. Where are the industries? Where are the industries? I'm a fan and totally committed promoter of knowledge economy. If we do not apply knowledge, then it is very easy to lose what you have without even realizing you've lost it. Now, when you look at electricity, the majority of us look at electricity simply as an enabler of my industry. But if you were to answer my first question, where is the money? And we are taking power from Karuma to the factory. Calculate, where are the industries in between there? If those of you have factories, how many sockets how many electric sockets do you need to have in a moderate factory? How many bulb holders do you use? Now tell me, where are the industries producing those inputs of energy? Where are they? Who is producing, manufacturing from here, not importing, manufacturing electrical connection inputs? But if I told you that 70% of the money in energy is in that segment, and you are not there, so where are the industries? And those industries are enabled because we have energy. But for us, we simply look, when are you connecting me? Why don't you support the young one that Honorable Jonad was talking about? So we are not going to industrialize simply by having electricity connected. We are going to industrialize by industrializing the entire energy value chain. Do you get me? There is a lot of money along the way which we send out as if we don't need it in this economy. Yes, we always import like every other country, but developed countries retain more value in their economies than goes out. And then I am asking the question, where is the energy? Because I'm Minister of Energy. Where is the energy? In this, most of our previous connections were primarily designed for domestic. And so our indicators measure how many Ugandans have been connected. So the first question I asked when I reached the sector is, what is the proportionate payment? And they told me more than 70% comes from industries. I said, then we need to put our priority where the money is. And so we have changed some of those indicators. So we are now moving to prioritize electricity around industries. Because many of you are able to access domestic electricity, but it's not sufficient. It has not been designed for you. But I'm also going to request Madam Irene, the chairperson, that especially with the industry, when you're building an industry, we design it together. Sometimes you design the factory, we are not really aware, some of you go to some office or somewhere, and it has been a shock to us as ministers to be invited to opening a factory which is standing building with some films domestic supply wires, and we were not aware of the existence of the factory. So I'm going to push a policy which is for your good, that as you put up new facilities, we work together to make sure that we are beginning together to assure you of electricity, the right electricity mix. And we have started working on the system. I hate delaying people, so we have started working on the system. As you plan to set up factories or new businesses, please come early so that we give you an energy permit, meaning it's a pledge that by the time you open your business, you are going to have the right electricity to run it. So to us, we do not just want money to flow into the country, because money flows into the country and it flies out. You just think about the loans that we take. Let me use an example of loans that are granted by governments sometimes. You know, we sign the paper and then the money never reaches Uganda because it does procurement of everything from that nation and then they bring it here. That money, we borrowed it, but we didn't produce anything here locally. So we didn't create jobs, which is one of the priorities for any government, that your citizens have opportunity to participate in gainful employment. And the biggest driver of employment, gainful employment in any nation is industrialization. Without industrialization, you will not have services. Without industrialization, primary production of agriculture will struggle because they do not have the industries to push them ahead. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the resources we have as minerals. In fact, minerals illustrates what we don't want now, where we get the minimum value. The other day, a news reporter called me and asked me a question. I hope one day I'll be able to stand and answer. There's a lot of value created by minerals, but what stays in the country is very little. Why? I answered him politically. But one day I'll be able to answer that question with data. Because we have looked at these as commodities. And today I want to really have the opportunity to celebrate Professor Muranga. Professor Muranga took a local commodity. She used to suffer a lot before I was minister. When I became a minister, I said, I will stand between you and defend your... She took a commodity industry standing. Then she said, okay, what about Uganda? We don't know how to eat fried matoke. I'm going to develop products out of it. And that one she has developed. Many people did not understand the philosophy. Professor, we celebrate you. You have given Uganda what wheat gave Europe. Because she's not the one going to be a beneficiary. I know people now who are exporting products because of what she has done. She's catalyzed a lot of industries. So we need not to look at matoke as a commodity, simply to carry from here to the market, peel and eat, but as an industrial value chain. We don't need to look at gold as a commodity, to pick from the ground, because the president has banned the export of unprocessed minerals. So we put the refinery. After that, we rush to the airport to export. What can we make? What can we make? Which industries can we build here based on the gold that we have, based on the tin that we have, based on the oil that we are getting? Which industries? But if we continue to search for licenses so that we extract these commodities, you will still need some electricity for that. It will just be there, do for you a minimum. It will not produce the value that produces the industrialization, the algorithmic, the one which grows not as a linear, but it grows exponentially, which is the only one which can deliver the tenfold growth. So the CEOs, I would like to call you the founder CEOs. You are the firstborn. You have path found. Dr. Nabrano, you have path found. By the time your successors come, there will be sufficient electricity very quickly. He keeps telling me that the line of companies in that area, so they have to go and ask the other, can you stop manufacturing so that I also produce some? It will soon end, I promise. It will soon be over. Why haven't we done this? Why haven't we industrialized our minerals? The president has been pronouncing about a ban of exporting raw minerals, and we finally put it into a law. But people strive to smuggle instead of building. Now, after studying the sector, have realized that it is the fear of the downstream. In fact, when we put the law, the mineral sector went into stasis. It was like everybody now gets an exploration license and keeps it. If you are not using your exploration license, I'm going to cancel it soon. If you got an exploration license and you are instead doing illegal mining, I'm going to cancel that license. We want the mineral sector to do what? To go up and build industries. Where last Tuesday I had the honor of being part of the team at Roofings to see what industrialization of the minerals value chain should look like. And as I walked with the president through the factory, I got an inspiration. Many of us, most foreign investors say, but if we do explore and mine, what is going to happen to the minerals? Build the downstream. And what has happened with the iron ore, taking the example of Roofings and the number of other people dealing with the steel, which is so far the mineral that I'm really happy with, because they have been able to take the value chain downstream quite a lot to final products. They still have something to do, but we saw Roofing started with adding some smaller value, bringing in semi-finished products, and they have been going upstream. And on Tuesday, I had been there before. They told us now they are moving into exploration and mining, hence completing the iron ore to steel to product value chain. Now we need some of you to join the other minerals. We are now able to refine tin. Can we build the downstream? We are still sending out more than 85% of the value without creating industries here, without creating value in our economy, just by sending out those ingots. We need to build the industries downstream which are going to create the jobs for our children. For me, what makes me wake up every morning at unholy hours, work up to unholy hours, is envisioning the future of the Ugandan young man and woman. I believe I'm going to live to see the age where our sons and daughters graduate with jobs waiting for them, jobs which they studied for. And this is in the industrialization sector. This is in the application of science, technology, and innovation. If we do not apply the energy, the science, the knowledge, we are not going to get there. So you started one factory. Can you build the upstream? You are importing semi-finished goods. Can you now build the next one upstream until you connect to the raw material that we have? Instead of asking, now if I mine this, what will happen? Some people are hoping to wait out, but a time is coming when we are going to change the policy and allow export of raw materials. I have great news for you. It's not going to happen. So bring the industries here, and we will support you. We will support you with every effort that will support you. So we would like to have both people beginning from up. If you go into exploration, mining, move downstream, building factories. And again, I want to repeat, 85% of the money is downstream of refining. It's downstream of a refinery. 85% of the money and the value that can be created in this country is downstream of a refinery. I've already talked about energy. I only want to see that most of you come to ask for energy. But energy, beyond what I said, is now an industry. From generation, we have used most of our hydro. We are now moving into other. The most immediate we are going into now is solar. Solar energy is the most equitably distributed energy in this country. We are endowed just across the equator. We receive a high density of solar energy. And for centuries, we've let it go. And I want to tell you that on the African continent, solar is going to be the most dominant source of energy. But where are the industries? Where are the industries in the solar energy system being built here? Where is the research and development for the next generation of solar cells? The next generation of batteries, of storage systems? The next generation of transmission systems? I believe there is going to be a time when we don't need wires to transmit electricity. Mr. Science, do you believe me? Because about 3 years ago, in the US, they announced a research where they had succeeded to transmit energy in a vacuum. Now, none of us took attention of it, but this is industry in the making. So where is solar? All we are waiting to consume. That will not industrialize. Just by you putting some solar panels on your factory and generating electricity is not enough. Contribute to the next generation of industries. So I would like to conclude by telling you what my ministry is changing. My predecessors did a fantastic job. And because they did a fantastic job, I'm able to start at the industrialization segment because they have shown, they have built everything, the foundations that we need. So I'm just a beneficiary, like a plane taking off at the airport, which is the illustration we use. So we are moving the ministry from just being a manager of resources, services, to being a driver of industrialization. We are not just going to, we are still going to make sure that anyway, we cannot push it to transform unless we can produce. But we are moving to a driver of industrialization. What does that mean for you? If an industry needed power today, and then it should be able to get it today. Because now we are industrialization focused. What does it mean? It means we are analyzing the industrial value chains and intentionally supporting young industries around there. I have put a requirement there. It has been there in other sectors. It has been there verbally, but a strict requirement for local content in every procurement. And I have told the technical people, those doing procurement, I will not accept a procurement which gives me an excuse that nobody in the country qualifies. So we are taking it as our responsibility to make sure that those younger companies qualify. If we are the ones who know the standards they need to meet, then let's support them to meet those standards so that they can grow. Because an infant, you can't expect an infant to sit at a table and compete with the adults. That infant will pick food, it will be hot. You know, eventually the food will be finished. I grew up in a very big home. We were 15 children. And the parents insisted we eat at the same table. So, but mommy would get the infants and put something on the side. Moreover, support you to make sure that you can eat it. So, if you have developed an industry to supply anything in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development and our peripheral organizations, I will be calling for a meeting around October to discuss the challenges so that we intentionally support you. Because the local content requirement is going to be very strict. The local industries. I've got a bigger clap. Have I made it? The second thing is, we call it one MEMD, one ministry. If you go to any of my companies, not given a straight answer, you know the address. I don't want to hear things, so they cheated me, you see, I had to bribe. You know the address. Hello? You do? You do know the address? It is, the address is Amber House, which is the .0 of Kampala City. And you'll find me there. If you don't find me there, they will tell you when to get me. So we don't want anything. I don't want to hear rumors of those things. We are actually going to create for you in a few weeks a board where you can register your issues. So I'll be able to see the entire sector on my desk. But they are good people, they are growing. The third thing is we are really challenging, and I want to challenge the CEO Forum. I want to add my voice to the voice of the minister. Let us support innovation. Let us support science, technology, and innovation in our companies. Instead of you coming here, then you go somewhere else to bring the next generation of innovation. Then you go, every single problem, you go somewhere else. Why don't you support it here? It's much cheaper to do it here. It's much cheaper. Number 4, we value knowledge. We value knowledge, we value data. And number 5, okay, there are 4, sorry. So now my invitation to you is first, bring me a product. I'm tired of signing licenses. I want a product. Then I give you the license for the product. Number 2, give me a pathfinder. If nobody has industrialized that mineral, we will give you special support, very special support, to make sure that you industrialize that mineral. We will give you incentives that will make others jealous. Number 3, we have oil. I can't end without talking about oil. The industrial park is open. Who is going to occupy it? You know, in a few weeks ago, made the announcement. Don't miss this, and don't look at oil as a commodity. Oil is an industrial value chain. And it starts with research. It starts with science, technology, and innovation. It starts with those infant industries. Number 4, when you want to be a local content provider, please be genuine. We are making the measures rigorous. We saw sometimes people put the front of a manufacturer, but behind they are an importer. We are importing all the rest. This small one, I learned it from the president at Okuvegerako. You keep for the child, and we want to support the industries in this country. So we are changing the metrics to make sure that truly you must be producing a certain minimum local content here in order for you to qualify for that privileged position. Number 5, stop treating energy as a bill and start treating it as an industrial value chain. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, it's our national ambition to move this economy, and I believe that there is a sufficient number of us patriotic enough now to cause it to happen. We'll sacrifice everything to make it happen. This $500 billion by 2040, some of us hope we'll bypass it quite there in the middle. We'll bypass it. This tenfold growth is not just a change in quantity, it's a change in kind. That's why I prefer to call it the qualitative leap. Instead of selling a bunch of matoke, I am exporting very unique starch, which is used in the manufacture of pharmaceuticals, high value product. So that is the two have to go hand in hand. With this, I want to thank you so much for welcoming me. I hope I've given you enough to chew on. I know we shall be talking over and over, and I want to welcome you to the new MEMD, the new Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. We'll soon be going to Minister of Finance to tell them, sorry, you gave us a small allocation of what we contribute. If you energize me and come in the sector. Thank you. God bless you. When I was at Science, we used to say, making Uganda the best. But since my colleague didn't mention it, I'll mention it on his behalf. That should be the slogan for all of us now. Making Uganda the best. With these few words, very many, I would like to declare the conference officially open. Thank you very much, and keep doing what you're doing better. We are going to serve you much better.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's have a very big round of applause for our two ministers. I'm going to quickly invite Dr. Ruth to give us a vote of thanks, to be followed by national anthems, group photos, and then as our honorable ministers depart, the panel discussions will commence. So, Dr. Ruth, over to you.
Mine will be very short. Just to thank you, Honorable two ministers, for the eloquent speeches. I think it was very informative. Let's thank both of them. We are so grateful and for the time. And as the chair of the biannual private sector CEO forum, I also want to thank you, the captains of industry. We have a number of CEOs here, men entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs. Please thank you for joining us. I also want to thank the MDs that are here as well, that have been able to be part of that journey. And in the special way, it will be very fair to recognize the members of the organizing committee that we've worked with, starting from our CEO, Irene. We have Derek Boji from the forum as well. We have Dr. Wamala from Makerere University Innovation Center, Ms. Lydia Mesigwa, Mesha Stills, thank you very much. Mr. Kiara Binta from UNAPSEC, Dr. Abraham Mohanguzi from NPA, Alan Sechunda from Uganda Manufacturers Association, Mr. Martin Mohanji from Uganda Investment Authority, Mr. Alan Kayongo from NPA, Mr. Douglas Opio from FUE, and my colleague on the board, Dr. Brenda Timamunda, who is a member of the PCF board, Mr. Dennis Nabriano from SAMS. I think the snacks we are eating, please stand up because we are eating your snacks. I love the jackfruit, the organic jackfruit. I also want to thank those companies that hosted us. Honorable ministers, we've had industrial visits, and those companies that hosted us, Biria, Mesha Steels, Bira, we had Bira, we went to the industrial park where Mr. Ntake, we had I think 3 or 4, please, thank you very much. I don't want to waste a lot of time. I want to just inform all of you that we're still continuing on in our discussions after the break, and we work on our resolutions, which we should be able to prepare anytime that we are ready, to His Excellency the President. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Dr. Ruth. National anthem, and then the group photos. So photo number 1 is the honorable ministers and the board of PCF. Cameraman to advise best location. MDs, you can get ready for the next photo. You can come and join us. Our honorable ministers and board members will stay up. So all the MDs, CMA, URSB, ERA, NPA, UNBS, State House, UMOC, UWA, UNFA, please join us. Next, sponsors, come and join us as well. Our sponsors. We have Luca, Ntake, Mbesha Steels, Steel and Tube, Bella Wine, Delight Cheers, Tembo, Pepsi, Sam's, UEC, Premium Water, and Staunch Machinery. Please join us. No. We agreed. Okay, that's all. Because the group photo. Okay. So MDS, you can go back. Then PCF staff and e-mobility, please join us. All PCF staff present and e-mobility, this is your photo. Sponsors, yes, and then the staff, all staff, we need you. This is your day. PCF staff, all staff present. Lunch, eh? Okay, so our CEO and the chairman are going to see with our ministers as we get a communication from our chair about the next activity.
Good afternoon, dear guests. As the PCF board sees of the ministers, so we are going to have lunch immediately. We are going to have 2 serving areas, the one behind you in the white tent, and also at the floating restaurant. You can eat from here, from the other tent, you come back and have your seat and eat within this tent. And also the floating restaurant, there are some tables, also you can eat from there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We're breaking off for lunch. When we come back from lunch, we shall kick off with the panel sessions facilitated by Dr. Veronica. So let's have lunch, about 45 minutes, and get back for the next session. Thank you.